You probably ended up here because you're searching on how to grow as a creator here on YouTube, specifically how to grow your YouTube channel. Now, I can tell you what, I have got some actionable steps for you today, taking you behind the scenes and what's happening with my channel to help you grow. And it's all happening in the comments section. Let's go. What's up, you beautiful humans? Welcome back to the channel. And if you are new here, this is a place where I help entrepreneurs with their creative endeavors, helping you build and scale and do those things that matter. Now, speaking of what matters today, growing as a creator here on YouTube, the high level growth, but also the metric growth and the engagement and the algorithm that's happening here on YouTube that is helping people level up in their channels. And what's happening is not just the views and the watch time and the subscribers, but what's going down in the comments section. Now, I'm going to be bringing you in behind the scenes of my channel to actually show you what has happened because of the comment section and how my videos have gotten more views and how subscribers are coming on board. What I need to say though is that this is not a hack. This is not about manipulating anything. This is not trickery. This is literally building community, growing as a creator, here and here, but also growing in your reach. Because yes, we want to get in front of more eyeballs and ears. I mean, that keeps us motivated and keeps us going. I love being in the comment section. It is my favorite place to be. Now let's start off with a high level tip, and that is the ability to be able to pin comments. As a creator, we can pin your comments that you make, and if there's accolades or really cool feedback or an awesome question, and then a lot of people in the community are engaging with that, and you want to pin that comment up to the top because that's going to be maybe a common question or even a unique question that somebody else may have. Really, your community is seeing that you value their input, and it just helps them want to keep coming back and want to continue to have that conversation with you. And of course, another thing is that as creators, what we can also do as the comments start coming in, we can drop a heart on that comment. And that's a great little placeholder that is engagement that's happening. We likely are not doing this full time. So once that video comes out and it's uploaded and people are making comments, we may be away from the computer or our phones or really just the ability to get in there and dive in on the comment section. And this kind of segues into one of the more important aspects of your comment section is replying to comments. And what I will do if I'm just on the fly or out there and I can't get to a question that maybe requires a really detailed response, and I'll tell you what, I definitely have some really detailed responses that I give people because I want you to know the answer. I want you to have what it is that you need to get to that next level. Whatever your pain point is, I want to help. Replying to those comments adds to that comment section and adds to that engagement. But again, it's about having a conversation because honestly, if you were here in my studio right now with me, as I really feel you are in this camera, I would just have a conversation. It's not so much about just, putting a heart on it and saying good or, hey, appreciate it. And that's it. Like, I want to know what's going on. And that actually bookmarks something that I think is really important, and I'll save that toward the end of the video, but I think it's probably one of the most important tips that I can share with you. But again, replying just goes a long way because that's what this is. That's what I really value here on YouTube. Now let's actually quickly talk about the thumbs up and thumbs down. And of course, the thumbs up is that community members inside those comments can actually put a thumbs up on somebody's comment or their question or feedback and move that toward the top and get it more highlighted. And it also just creates another level of engagement. And then there's also the thumbs down. So if things are not going so well in that comment section and people are being mean or whatever, if you haven't had a chance to get in there and remove things. And what I will say to you is that, yes, there are trolls. Yes, there are people that just want to tear you down, and I get it. Don't give them oxygen. But what I will also tell you is that some people just have a bad day, or some people are just feeling something different that day. And I'll tell you, I've had folks that have come into the comment section and they have said something like, oh, your lighting is this, or it's bad here, or you didn't do this. And maybe they didn't even watch my video all the way or get to the points where I said, you know what, I didn't edit the video, or I didn't grade this, or my lighting was this way. And I even maybe have penned my own comment stating like, by the way, just as an FYI, I didn't do this or I didn't do that. And then they come in with like a one-liner like, hey, you didn't do these things. And rather than me just thumbs down or removing their comment and jabbing back at them, I might say something like, hey, I really appreciate you letting me know. I did highlight that in the comment section, and I also did say it in the video. And by the way, so what is it that you might be looking for specifically? And depending on what piece of tech, gear, software, tutorial, whatever it is I'm doing, I'll actually try to start up a conversation with them. And I know that many of you might say, just don't even give it time. But I've turned things around and have had conversations start developing based on that sort of one-liner that kind of started out sort of negative, and then we ended on a positive. Now, you might want to say to me, listen, I've got a brand new channel here. I barely have subscribers. I barely get people to comment. And what I want to tell you is, listen, YouTube has obviously changed. You hear that all the time. And if you've been around YouTube for a while, then you know. I remember starting this channel and doing other YouTube channels where I just vlogged. Like, people cared about other people's lives. It was back in the day when we used to get email like on dial-up, and we would get like 3 emails a week. And we would read those emails like word for word and appreciate getting those emails, even if they were just like spam or sales pitches or whatever it was. And that was kind of like how YouTube was. Like, you posted stuff and people just watched it. It's a different game now. So YouTube is a very large search engine. It is the second largest search engine. And what you need to think about is when you're creating your channel, or you're thinking about pivoting in your channel or offering value, is what the searchable content is. What are people looking for? What are pain points? Go on and search about things that either interest you or that you know something about, and you see like, wow, it looks like people really want to know the answers to this stuff. And guess what? I know those answers. And so why don't I actually create some content around that? Now, bringing you behind the scenes and actually showing you that I've created searchable content, things that people are looking for, things that people want a problem solved. And some of those videos, even though they were good quality, they started off kind of slow. And then as the comments were coming in and I was really heavily engaging and getting people to tell me what was happening and really having a conversation, start noticing that the views were going up, the engagement was going up, and not only was it happening in the YouTube search, but YouTube was starting to recommend my videos. So the videos were getting into the recommended sections of people's feeds. And as that was happening, as those comments were coming in and I was responding and creating that engagement, that's where I started to see that growth. And it's happened several times on quite a few of my videos where a little bit of a slow start, and then all of a sudden it just ramps right up as the comments come in. Now, what I think is the most valuable tip that I can give you here, and that is specifically going back to replying to the comments and not just going in and saying, hey, really appreciate your feedback, fist bump, high five, or something like that. And yes, I do that. But what I also do is that if somebody is responding, they take the time to watch the video and to comment, I wonder if they have additional questions or additional needs or something that they want to share. So I will go in and say, hey, really appreciate that feedback. By the way, are you looking to pick this up, and where would you be using it? Like for a camera or a specific lens, or if I'm talking about travel gear and I'm saying, asking them like, hey, are you looking to take a trip soon, and where? And what happens there is not only just creating more engagement and comments for the algorithm, but it also allows you the ability to create more content, because here's what's happening is that people want more detail, and probably more detail than you can give in the video. So you're giving back to them and having that conversation, and they might even say like, hey, I would really love a tutorial on this, or I'd really love like a side-by-side on this. And here's the one thing, I get it, as creators, we spend hours and days and weeks and a lot of investment here creating here on YouTube, and I understand that you can't necessarily go in and pick out in these comments about what people's pain points are specifically if the video didn't answer it or if they're looking for something else. And I will randomly just pick somebody else's comment and say, you know what, I'm going to do a video on this because I know that I can do this and I can answer this question, and I will end up doing a video on that. And I'll tell you what, people flip out. They love it. I know that you can't do that for every community member every time, but doing that randomly as a creator, it really means something. And not to mention, it can also build on, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that Sarah asked that question and you made this other video because I had the same one and I love this video. And then they're commenting on that video, and then you're continuing to engage, and it just builds and builds and builds and gives you more motivation, more inspiration to continue to build that content, not only for stuff that you like to create, but also to give back to your community. Now, I would really love to know your thoughts, and genuinely and honestly, I would love to have you in that comment section. I will be down there with you having those conversations, and I really would love to know what's going on in your creative endeavors and what I can answer for you specifically. So definitely hit me up in the comments section. And as always, go out there and do those things that matter. You keep rocking those faces. You do all of those things. You go do the things, and I will keep creating here on this channel to help you continue to elevate. So go rock, create, do those things, get it done, and I'll see you right back here.